Great. Let me know when it's live. Hey friends, we're a little late. I got all new. I have like a new setup for trying to do these, so you'll have to let me know if it's working and if you can hear me and if you can see me, because we're not. It's just a mess. I have so many people here helping me, and by that I mean Joe and my sister. All right, how do I even log in? Hold on 1 minute. To how do I?
Just go to your channel.
Okay, I have to log in to see my own comments. Bear with me. Welcome if you're here. I don't know if anyone's here because I can't see my own channel. My channel.
Oh. This is laggy.
Let's see. It usually is laggy. Okay,
A few seconds.
let's let it sit there. Okay, got it. Okay, hi. Hi, Menwa and Jessica. Okay, let me see if I can scooch this over. Nope, we'll worry about that later. Okay, so, hello. Welcome. What a rough start. Hi, Brianna. What? Oh, I do have a moderator. I told you there's like a lot of new things. So I do have a moderator. She's never done this before. I feel like I've never done this before with how wonderfully this is going. So just be kind, everyone, because we're all kind of a mess. So hello, everyone. I wanted to talk today about, one, we'll just do our regular Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, we'll take them for a little while. This won't be the longest Q&A because it took us forever to set up. But we will talk about a little bit about like a holiday giveaway thing I'm doing. And then we can do a couple of questions and then sign off for the day. So hopefully you guys are doing good. Michelle's excited about the moderator. You can do this. My sister's my moderator. Because last time people were saying crazy things and it was out of control. Okay, so first, also if you're watching this on the replay, there's going to be a ton of timestamps in the description. Thanks, Joe. He's running my technical side. There's going to be a lot of timestamps in the description that's going to go over all the different topics that we cover. That way, if you just want to see like one or another, you can just go and look at that. Okay, so first, the Holly Jolly Holiday Giveaway. What a fun name. It's sponsored by Holly, my dog. And basically what I'm trying to do is give a like holiday boost to as many people as we can. And by that, basically just 2020 has been a beast of a year. I feel like Joe and I have been really lucky that we've been able to keep our jobs, like our streams of income. And so we're going to be able to like we're looking forward to Christmas this year and being able to like have fun. And we got the girls some fun gifts, and it's just gonna be like a good end cap to the year. And I know that so many families aren't that lucky, like they've had illness or they've had financial hardships just because of the year that it's been. So I was thinking, oh, we would sponsor a family and like be able to provide them with kind of a holiday experience that might give them a better end cap. And then I was like, actually, I have a lot of internet friends that I might be able to corral into doing this with me. So I've corralled you into doing this with me if you would like. And basically what we're doing is I'm just putting together something where you can either nominate a family to say like, hey, this family could really use a boost at the end of the year, or you can donate money to, if you do my Venmo, it's Nurse Liz. I'll leave a link in the description at the end. And anything from that is going to go directly to sponsoring families, or you can share the word on your social media. If you go to my Instagram, it has in the highlights pages where you can kind of go and screenshot it to share on your social media if you want, or just tell your friends and your mom. So far, we have about $1,800, which is wonderful. And so we probably got like 3 or 4 families that way. And then Joe and I will do one, and then we'll just kind of see where it goes. But I'm excited. We're going to do donations through December 10th and family nominations through December 1st. That way we have plenty of time to kind of get it all done before the holidays. So what it kind of is we're basically, I'm coordinating with the families that we're going to kind of randomly pick families. We can't do everyone. I wish we could. But there's just I've gotten so many nominations, and just, it's like so many people have had just like such a rough year. So I wish we could, it just makes me sad reading all of them, honestly, because I'm like, I wish I could just do everyone. But what we're going to do is I'm talking with them, and then they are making registries for gift items that they would like for themselves and their kids. And then I will be shipping that to their house via Amazon or wherever they're getting them, and then giving them a gift card to a local grocery store for them so that they can go and get like a holiday meal, and then providing a gift card for like stocking stuffers or some kind of little gift that they can go out and pick, wrapping paper, whatever they want to use that on. And like I said, just doing as many families as we can. So biggest ways you can help me get to as many people as possible are sharing it on your social media. To any kind of even like $1, $5. Like I said, we have like 1,800, which blows my mind. And honestly, most of those guys is from $5. Like if you get a lot of people to donate $5, it adds up really quickly. So I'm hugely appreciative to everyone who did that so far. And if you can't, in no way feel bad. And if you know any family that would be a good fit for this, like I said, please email me. I will leave the email down below. It's ahollyjollyholiday@gmail.com. And just kind of like a description of what's going on with the family. They will remain completely anonymous. I don't even need to know their name. We'll go through the registry system. That way we don't ever have to like identify who they are, or like I don't need to know their address. And you can nominate your own family, because I know many people in this community are having it's just been a really rough year. So that's kind of our idea. I thought it would be a fun way to just kind of end the year for some people on a slightly happier note. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in here. And then, yeah, so thanks everybody who's contributed to that so far. Because it's been really, really cool to see. Also, if you know how to get money from Venmo, because that's what we're using, to like, I'm not trying to put it in my bank account. I was trying to get like a Venmo card. If you know how to do that, because Venmo and Amazon don't talk. And I didn't really realize that until I had already done the whole thing. So if you know how to get those two to talk, that'd be great. Let me know. Okay. Let me go up and see. Hi, everybody who's saying hi. Let me see. Brianna is wondering if I had any advice of how they could ask their PCP for something to help with anxiety for an upcoming flight. Taking Prozac, but I may need something stronger. Just say that. I'm going on a flight. I get horrible anxiety. Is there anything, like, let's talk about my options there. Let's see. I hope your flight goes well. Let me see. Izzy. Oh, thanks, friend. Oh, thanks, everybody. Let's see. Thanks everyone who's saying it's nice. I thought it was nice too. I didn't honestly think about the technical side of it behind it. I was just like, this seems like a really fun idea. And I did the thing where I just charge and I went ahead, and now I'm like, I don't really know if I know how to do this. It's fine. We're going to figure it out as we go. Let's see. Annette. Oh, Rachel highlighted me on something. Annette would like, what is my favorite holiday food? My favorite holiday food is stuffing. I could just eat so much stuffing. That and apple pie with the crumbles on top. Apple pie with the crust on top is not worth eating. Controversial opinion. Let me know what you think. But yeah, stuffing. I can eat an impressive amount of stuffing. And that's my rant, not my rant. And that's kind of my spiel on that. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll just chat and I'll go off on tangents, as you know. And let me see where I was. How are you guys doing today? I feel like it was a good day, actually. It was a really good day at work. Mostly because half my patients canceled. That always makes it a little bit easier. Let me see. Kennedy said, plans for Thanksgiving and how are mom and dad. My parents are doing a lot better. They still have like days where they don't feel good. You know, they're like better. It's like 3 weeks out now they had coronavirus. But they still have days where they're like super duper tired and just not feeling it. And it's kind of like in waves. So, and that's something I've seen in a lot of my patients long-term who have had COVID is it's just like you're tired and you're short of breath and you're just like, don't feel good. You know what I mean? For a really, like, I'm talking months. My mom still can't taste super duper well unless the flavor is really, really bold. And so that stinks. They came down for Thanksgiving because we were like, I don't know if we, like, in the beginning, we were kind of like, maybe not. But then they got it. And I was like, well, that solves that. So they are here for Thanksgiving. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? It was like, obviously, no one wants them to get, I didn't want them to get COVID. But then I was like, I mean, you've been quarantined and we've been quarantined and you already got it. So here we go. All right. Enrique said, honest opinion on medical assistants. They're wonderful, especially medical assistants. So as a career choice? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you just said as a career choice. Yes, that is added. My sister was like, as a career choice, not as a whole. As a whole, they're great. I couldn't do my job without them. As a career choice, it's totally up to you. I mean, I don't even know, like, I think it's a great job. You know, you're always going to be needed. And if that's something that, just look into the role, you know what I mean? So medical assistants, it's going to change. Even the job, I guess, is going to totally change based on where you work. Some offices you're going to be much less hands-on and some you're going to be much, much more hands-on. So I think it's a great, career, especially something if, like, it can be your end goal. It can also be a good kind of like introduction to see, like, do I actually like this? Both of the MAs actually at my job got into being an MA because they were like, oh, this is a great job. And it's going to kind of introduce me into the field to see if I like it. And both of them have decided they do not want to work in healthcare forever, just after seeing a lot of the different stuff. So I think that's helpful. But in terms of, like, it's a good, stable job for a lot of people. And I think it's a great job in terms of, like, even if that's like your end goal. Let me see. Would you... You can get a Venmo. Jessica said, yes, you can get a Venmo card. It's like a debit card. There should be a way to do it in the app itself. I will let Joe know that, and he will go and look into that. That sounds golden. Hi from, Stacy's in Montana. Hi in Montana. I feel like it's as cold as Montana. You would laugh at that. It's 40 degrees here. Everyone's freezing. Do you see my cozy sweater? It's like I have to get, like, snuggled up, and the Michigan part of me is just embarrassed. Mrs. BS, I like your name. What is your favorite holiday tradition? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm having flashbacks to the new holiday tradition of gingerbread houses.
Oh, yeah. Well, we started a new fun tradition last year where we make gingerbread houses. Last year it was competitive. This year we're not going to be competitive because it caused a little bit of strife. So this year we're going to build a communal gingerbread house on Thanksgiving, which that will be fun. I do look forward to that. But probably my, like, favorite of all time is Christmas Eve. We always go looking at Christmas lights in our car and just, like, driving around, listening to Christmas music, looking at lights. And that's my fave. It's become especially fun. Last year, we just, like, were driving around neighborhoods and pulled Avery out of her car seat and, like, let her watch. And it was super duper cute. Let me see. I lost my place. This happens all the time. Let me see. No Vlogmas this year. No Vlogmas this year. If I had, I've gotten a lot of questions on if I'm doing Vlogmas. That's when you do a vlog every day for the first 25 days of December, and I just don't have it in me. It is really, really hard. Last year when I did it, I probably got like 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, and it made me a grumpy elf, and I don't want to be a South Pole elf, especially in 2020. So I think my family is very relieved that I am not doing it. Do I like cornbread stuffing? I like regular stuffing. Regular old traditional stuffing, majorly flavored with butter and thyme. Does that sound right? Do you flavor your stuffing with thyme? I think so. We'll go with that. Thyme is in the spice, it does take a long time though. We'll move on. My sister's looking at me like, just stop talking. I have 2 videos on clinicals. I do. I'm so confused by having this moderator thing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm responding to or not. Let me see. Nicolette said, I messaged you for advice about my T's score a couple months ago. I got in. Oh, that's exciting. I am starting my BSN in January. And thank you for your videos. Oh, you're welcome. That's so exciting. Yay!
Tony Rollins had asked if you have any suggestions on a good start to FNP clinicals, and so I looked up a few videos. But you can talk about it.
Perfect.
We're still getting used to this.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing. Tony Rachel said, any suggestions for how to get a good start in FNP clinicals? So just enter I do have a video or two about that. One, just treat it like a job interview, because that's essentially what it is. A lot of my friends got jobs out of their clinicals. Two, just go in knowing you're not going to know pretty much anything going in, and you are probably going to feel kind of dumb for 500 hours, which is a lot of hours to feel dumb in. But it literally took me 500 hours before I got to a point where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe one day I can see this working. Don't get discouraged by that. Just acknowledge that your learning curve is huge. Keep a little, don't feel like you have to look up the entire world. Just look up what you're seeing that day. Try to do a whole patient experience versus just going in and getting HPIs. I mean, in the beginning, it's good to go in and just get HPIs from people, but fewer patients and the whole package is much more helpful than trying to do everything for all the patients, because you're not going to learn anything. You need to really be able to look people up ahead of time. If you work with your preceptor and say you're going to take this patient, look up all their meds, look at what you've done before, what's been done before with them, what might happen, and then go through scenarios what am I going to do if they come in and their blood pressure is high? What am I going to do if they come in and, I can see their labs and their cholesterol's too high? What am I going to do or suggest or discuss with them? Then when they're there, do as much of the encounter as you can. And then when you're done, see if you can chart a little bit and kind of come up with a treatment plan, obviously with your preceptor. So more, fewer patients, but a more all-encompassing experience is going to be so much more helpful. And you might have to advocate for yourself for that, because not a lot of preceptors always know what you need. So those would probably be my biggest tips, is know what you need and be willing to just share that, be if they're doing something and you're like, hey, can we do this? Can I just take a few patients? I've worked with in some of my clinical, it was the preceptor was oh, you're going to go in and you're going to we have 8 this morning, so just have at it. And that was just way too overwhelming and honestly not a good learning experience, but they didn't know. So advocate for yourself and things will go a little bit better. Any tips for, let's see, Menwa said, any tips for how to find an OBGYN or women's health NP? I've been reading provider bios like crazy and can't figure out how to choose. So this is my tool for everything. Go onto the Facebook. The only thing Facebook is good for is sometimes the marketplace if you're feeling bold, and 2, groups. Find a group of your local area. So say you live in, Philadelphia. And so you would type in Philadelphia and a bunch of groups will come up. And most of the time they're moms groups. You don't have to be a mom, just join it. And it'll say it has a lot of people in there with a lot of opinions, and they're going to give very honest reviews. So you just you just join the group. You don't have to ask the question, and then go up to the search bar and type women's health NP or midwife or dentist. And let me tell you, there is a world of opinions out there. This is how I have found my women's health NP up here, and all of my things, the dentist, the optometrist, everything, because if you look on the internet, most of them are done by Yelp, and you can pay for reviews. And so practices will pay to delete the bad reviews. So on a Facebook group, none of that is happening. And some people have a lot of time on their hands and they will leave you lengthy reviews, or leave them lengthy reviews. Never Google yourself in one of those groups. That can be soul crushing, or good, or soul crushing. But that is how I find everything in my entire life. Also, there's Facebook groups for finding nannies, for finding babysitters. Beautiful things. That's how we found our nanny share for the girls. It's the only thing that's actually good about Facebook, and it's excellent. It's also a good time if you're ever bored at 2 a.m. with some insomnia and you just want to scroll through some people who, like I said, just have a lot of opinions and a lot of free time. And there's really weird conversations happening over there. I'm also in one for Peloton. This is a tangent. I'm in one for Peloton, and it's Peloton moms. And the people in this group have more money than they know what to do with. And it's just fascinating to see what they think problems are. And so if you're ever really bored, Peloton mom group, and just watch. I've never in my life commented in any of these groups. It's just fascinating. work. I'm like, wow, like I don't understand how you live, but I'm jealous. My hair's falling out. I'm going to fix it. Hold on. There you go. Is that better? Okay. Yep, we'll see. There's a lag, so I'll find out in a couple seconds if it's better. It is. Let me see. Thanks everybody for congratulating people who got into nursing school. Stacy said, I am in my last stretch of FNP school and everyone is asking me if I'm going to specialize. I was thinking 2 years into FNP in a family practice or urgent care versus specializing right away. Totally depends on what you want to do later on down the road. Like if you don't care and you don't think you ever want to work in family medicine, then like don't, you know what I mean? But if you think you might want to in the future or you just like need a good starting spot, family medicine's good. The benefit of starting in family medicine is that you see a little bit of everything. The con to family medicine, it's wildly overwhelming because you do everything. When you go into a specialty, there's like your knowledge base is so focused, so you might be able to feel like you kind of have a firmer grasp on it sooner. You know what I mean? There's usually a little bit less paperwork in specialty practices because in primary care, there's just so much paperwork and back end stuff, so that makes it harder. But I've heard from a lot of people that if you start in like urology and then you want to move to family medicine, it can be really hard because that transition, you're going from like focused to really broad and you've kind of lost a few of those skills along the way. Not that you can't relearn them. You can always relearn everything, but that's rougher than going broad and then focused. So if you're really not sure, go for family medicine. Or if you aren't really sure, you can just like play around and try different things. Like absolutely nothing wrong with hopping around. Maybe it might look more marketable if you went primary care and then specialized, but I don't even know. Like it probably looks nice for like that you've learned a different system. You obviously already know how to like provide care and like prioritize things. So I would just go with whatever job like seems like a good fun time and you might be interested in. Slavic said, how often are you working? I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons and every other Saturday. It's a pretty sweet schedule. And then every night on this from like way too long. My hours are the afternoons and then late into the night on the YouTube worlds. Jessica said, how is Avery with Christmas? Does she understand it more this year? She does. She's probably still awake, so we won't talk too much more about it, but she does. We went yesterday to a farm and we wrote out a list of what she wanted from Santa and we dropped it off. They have a mailbox and it's a special magic mailbox. You drop the letter off in it and it actually goes straight to Santa in the North Pole and he will write back to you. I'm realizing today I wrote the wrong, right in this moment, return address because we won't be it's going to be fine. We won't be home for Christmas. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. She'll get it late. She won't even know. But she does get it a little bit more this year and she's very excited. We put our tree up today. She's super into it. I tried to make a reel about it. I'm not sure if I was successful. Was I successful?
Did you post it?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh, I haven't.
I'm really trying with the reel thing because Instagram punishes you if you don't use reels. And I'm already bad at Instagram as it is. And I think everyone who follows me on Instagram is like, can you stop? Let me see. Abigail Smith, unpopular opinion. Oh, I love unpopular opinions. I was going to tell me if you like this idea. I was going to do an entire video on unpopular opinions and just my reaction to them. Like, do I agree? Do I not agree? I could make it a medical one because I have a lot of unpopular opinions in terms of like arguments about medical stuff, or just in life in general. Would that be a fun video idea? Unpopular opinions, agree or disagree. It would just be me ranting for an entire video, which I think sounds like a great time, but you might not. So let me know. Rachel can tell me the consensus. Abigail Smith, unpopular opinion. Back to the original topic. Thanksgiving food is terrible. I have never been a fan. I know some people love turkey. I couldn't care less. I agree. Turkey is a vessel for gravy. Really, the only thing that matters at Thanksgiving is the stuffing. Therefore, in my family, we go to the store and we buy a bagged turkey. It is, I don't remember, the Jenny O. And all you do is you take it in the bag and you place it in the oven. You then go and you get Bob Evans mashed potatoes. You place them in the microwave. And then you buy yourself some bagged green beans and you put those in the microwave. and you buy yourself a pie at Costco.
Cranberry relish.
We do make like a cranberry relish sauce. I talked about it in a vlog like 2 years ago. That is delicious. But everything else, yeah, no, there will be turkey because, you know, turkey. If we weren't having like people at our house, we would have had chicken nuggets. That was my plan, was to make chicken nugget fries with stuffing. So that's where we are. Let me see. Thanksgiving dinner. Kennedy said her Christmas dinner is almost the same thing as Thanksgiving dinner. Do you guys have, that's interesting. I feel like we usually have ham at Christmas. Ham and scalloped potatoes and stuffing. Stuffing doesn't fit, but stuffing fits into all of my holidays. It's a key ingredient. And yeah, I think we have ham. Do you guys have ham or turkey at what? Or do you have an exotic bird? Because there are a lot of other exotic birds that you can eat. Avery today told my babysitter, she like texted me frantically. She's like, I am so sorry. I have been giving Avery like meat. And I was like random meat that you like what? And she was like, no, like Avery told her she was vegetarian. I didn't even know Avery knew that word, but she was like, oh yeah, we're vegetarian. I'm vegetarian. I don't, but now I feel shameful. I'm like, well, we're not. And Avery was like, so we eat animals? I was like, well, yes. So, gills. We are trying to eat more plant-based. We have a couple plant-based meals a week, but sorry, Avery. Let me see. Abigail said, I'd rather skip to Christmas dinner. Agreed. Christmas, the real star of the show on Christmas is cinnamon rolls in the morning. It's really the only meal I care about on that day, if we're being totally honest. Kennedy said, personal opinion on the COVID vaccine. I'm going to get it and Joe's going to get it. Yep, he's nodding. Okay, good. We're going to get it. I think it's a great idea. I would really love to go back out in the world. I don't think it's going to be like enough people who have gotten it for like another 2 years, if we're being realistic, because there's a lot of people who are really resistant to it. It's not like a brand new, it's a brand new vaccine, but they like the basics of it are piggybacked of other vaccines that they already have and that have been like tested. Nothing in this process was eliminated. You know what I mean? In terms of how they're testing it. I think that's a big, I don't know why they named it like project. I forget what they even named it, but it sounded like they were going to skip steps. And that's how I feel like a lot of people have talked about it, is that there's going to be steps missed because this was a rushed vaccine, but none of the steps were skipped. They just pulled back a lot of the red tape. So a lot of times there's all sorts of, you know, like you have to apply for this grant and you have to wait and then you have to apply for this other thing and apply like la 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 la. And it just takes forever. So all they did with this is they pulled it back. Also, when you're looking at these types of vaccines, like why it can be quick is COVID is quite transmissible. So when you do the study, after they've done the initial ones and then they go into phase 3 trials, phase 3 is when you basically give it to half, this huge chunk of people, and they give it to half of them and then they give saline to the other half. You have to wait until like a lot of people get coronavirus, and then you tabulate all of those. So you, in a disease that transmits really quickly, you can hit that number really quickly. And then you look and you say, of all of these people, like say there was more than this, but say there's 1,000 people and 100 got COVID at the end, like to date, how many of the 100 people were in the vaccinated arm? And that's how they do it. You know, they tell them like, that's basically how they look at it. So we're going to get it. I'm trying to tell everyone that they should go and get it if it's not contraindicated for them. And yeah, so it's not like they skipped steps as everyone is trying to put it out there as they did. I'd really like to take my kids to the playground and to the Children's Museum and Disney World. So can everyone just go get the vaccine? Thanks. Let me see. Annette, healthcare workers will be required to get it. Thoughts? I don't know, like what they'll make. Like it'll probably be maybe like the flu shot, like where I worked before the flu shot and you had to like wear a mask. I don't really know. You know, I would, for myself, like if I was a healthcare, like I am a healthcare worker, I would want to get it because you're, if I was a healthcare worker, like, psych, I'm not actually a nurse, friends. Joke's on you. I really am. So I'm just imagining someone like taking that excerpt and like putting it on the internet somewhere. I am a nurse. Someone will vouch for me if anyone knows me in real life. I promise I'm a nurse. That's what I always used to tell people when they would be like, oh, are you even old enough to do this? When you was working bedside. And I was like, oh, I don't work here. And just walk out of the room, like deliver it just like that, or keep on doing your thing. They're like, you look so young. Are you even old enough to work here? That's all you have to say. Oh, I don't work here. Just keep fiddling with your IV bag. And they're just like, it's pretty good. Pretty awkward. Pretty good. But I don't know about the mandating thing. Like, I would want to get it just because then, you know, you're a little bit less nervous, but I don't really know about that yet. FG, can you talk a little about psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner roles? I don't know a ton about that because I'm not one, but the psych dude has a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and he is a psychiatric mental health NP, and he talks about that. Basically, anything that is not, I can kind of talk about it from my role. Basically, anything that is not like pretty run-of-the-mill anxiety or depression or stable ADHD, we send to psych to at least get stabilized and then take back. Like, we will manage stable bipolar and a few other things, but they have to go to psych first and then come back to us because we're just not trained in that level of psychiatric evaluation, and there's like, that's a whole other world. So they would manage all of that. Let me see. Yes. Okay. It sounds like people are into the idea of a ranting video about me talking about unpopular opinions. So I'm excited for that. And maybe we will see that in the next couple of weeks.
Joe just texted me. He says, we eat dressing, not stuffing.
Oh, that's true. Do you guys eat dressing or stuffing? So stuffing is technically something you place inside of a turkey. Unpopular, maybe opinion. I find that gross. Like, no, you eat dressing, which is just the bread in the oven. I do not need it to like marinate in a turkey's butthole. No, thank you. Like, you keep that to yourself. It's also soggy. I know Joe's making a gross face, but that's what it is. Like, you shove things up a turkey's butt and then you eat it. You pull it out and you eat it. That's not a good choice. But I mean, hey, you do you. People are into all sorts of things. Steak for Thanksgiving, Annette. It's my rebellion. Yes. I love it. I mean, really, like, we've really got to, turkey. Who thought of turkey? Turkey's like the most boringest of all the things. Rick says, I'm midway through an ABSN program. I expect getting the vaccine will be a requirement soon for me. It's going to be interesting to see. Said they won't let you go to clinical without them. That sounds interesting. Michelle, yeah, I don't know how it's going to be in terms of like mandation. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see that. And I don't think kids are going to get vaccinated at first because I'm pretty sure they were not in the age limits of the trial, but like, will kids have to get vaccinated? You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see how all of that plays out. Savannah, hi, completely off topic. I am completely off topic. I appreciate you and hate to be that person, but can I ask what lip color you're wearing? Oh, you can. It's Maybelline Color Stay Matte Lip in Seductress. I got it at Target. I only put a tiny bit on, just a tiny bit on, and then it doesn't get too cakey and it survives all of your water drinking. Let's drink some water. Now that we talk about it, it stays on all day. It's great. Don't get it on your teeth though. It'll be there all day. That's a bummer. And then no one tells you. And sometimes that's embarrassing. Yes, it's gross. Dressing only, no stuffing. Amen. Let me see. Dressing, but my family all say stuffing. We do too. We just say stuffing, and it's understood that you're not eating the innards of the turkey. Tina says, I eat stuffing, but it isn't stuffed. I just grew up calling it stuffing. Exactly. It is stuffing. That's gross and cross-contamination. Good. Okay, so we can all be friends here. Let me see. When I'm unmotivated, I watch a Nurse Liz video and would smile. Oh, thank you. I should try doing that myself sometimes. I have been wildly unmotivated to go. Let me see. The Loco Vlogger. Oh my gosh, I love your name. I'm definitely getting the vaccine. I'm going to be starting residency in March. and tech there in 2 weeks. I need to protect my parents. Yeah, that is, yeah. Protect your parents. I think it's going to be interesting to see a lot of the things that I've seen. Like there's just it's a very divided topic. I'm in a couple like nurse practitioner groups even. And like, at first I was like, oh, everyone's going to get vaccinated for COVID. Like, and we're going to be maybe out of this. And then like a lot of people aren't into getting it. And I was like, we're going to be doing this forever. So maybe I'll do a poll on Instagram about who would like, or on here of like who would actually get it, because like it's just interesting to see. And I'd be interested to see like in what parts of the country would different people be willing to get it. I would say my patients are like split 50-50. I get asked about it a lot. So if you work in healthcare, I would definitely recommend kind of whatever your stance is on it, like nailing down a speech, because I would say I give mine a lot, all the time, a concise little speech. And when more info comes out about it, I will share my concise little speech that is hopefully a little bit less angry and ranty than the one I gave you on the internet. Let me see. I'm sure Dr. Mike will too. Thank goodness for Dr. Mike. I love the sass in this live stream, you know. Thanks. Let me see. Kate McManus would like to know if I've seen Grey's Anatomy. I'm not trying to give away a lot of spoilers. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy anymore. This is old news, so I will try to speak vaguely so that we don't ruin things in case you're just starting it. I no longer watch Grey's Anatomy because of the plane crash. That was just too much for me. That was a long time ago. I like watched it very committedly until I was like, oh, that show I feel like has been on a long time, because that was like 9 years ago, maybe. Is that even possible? Maybe. It was a long time ago, but there was a plane crash and I was like, no, I'm done with you. So, and I heard it just got like so much sadder for like, no, too much. It's too much. So, no.
17 seasons.
17 seasons?
Joe and I looked that up at the exact same time. 17?
I think there are new ones still coming out.
Holy cow. Yeah, that would make sense though, because I was very young when I stopped watching that still. Okay.
We're home fries. Plane crash.
If you guys haven't watched, okay, so if you ever need something to watch and you have, what is it, Amazon Prime? It's PBS Masterpieces. It's kind of on like older, like period dramas. And they're fairly low budget sometimes, but it's a delight. There's one, if you just need to like kind of laugh, Home Fires.
Is that the one on the island?
No, that's
Girls in Corfu.
Durrells and Corfu. They're just like a great time and just like such a nice break from reality. But anyway, there's this one called Home Fires, and it's about people, I think in World War II, who are like at home, and basically what happens at the very, I'm gonna ruin. Well, no. So it ends in a very funny way.
Just give a spoiler alert.
A spoiler alert. If you're going to watch this, don't watch it. If you just want a good time, just listen. So what happens in the end is most of them get renewed. This one didn't get renewed for a second season. So literally the person directing the show just has all the main characters go into one house and a plane goes into it and it blows it up. And it just ends. Like it's just like going on, like, oh, last 30 seconds of the entire thing, like house. So now whenever something is, that's just like our inside joke that I felt the need to share with all of you. So there you go. You're welcome. Everyone's probably like, what on earth does that have to do with anything?
That was a good show though.
It was a good show until everyone blew up in the house.
No, that made it better.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's like that director was just like, well, screw you. I'm going to blow up the whole house. Like,
If anyone comes to your live streams for a straight, clear cut, we are answering these questions and not doing anything tangential. They've come to the wrong channel entirely.
That's so true. Thanks for being along for my rambles. Kate C said, I'm a PICU nurse, and honestly, I'm like the 10% of nurses that said we're willing to get the vaccine. Yeah. It's kind of frightening. I'm in a lot of NP groups, and it's not a lot of people who are like jumping up and down about it. And it's actually really funny. A lot of my patients, I have had several patients who are in the trials, and like they are older and they were just so jazzed for it. They were like calling, they were like, I got a phone call that I could be in this study. Like, can I be in it? And people that you wouldn't think would be in it, but hey, whatever. Let me see. Tina said, I'm one of those weird ones. I will get the vaccine, but I want to wait a few months after it comes out. I want to make sure it's safe and corners weren't cut, risking safety. I will get it in time. I think that's where a lot of people are kind of hanging out. Michelle said, how are things looking in North Carolina? Things are getting pretty bad here in Oklahoma. No one directly affected seems to care. It's scary, unaffected. Same here. No one believes in masks or that any of this is happening. It's a really good time all around. We can't really leave our house at all. So, yay. Yeah. I'm still fighting with people in the office who get angry that they have to come in and wear masks. Even people who think they might have COVID don't want to wear masks. So, love it. A deep sigh for everyone. Okay. Royal Pains is a really fun, underrated medical show. Okay, I will add that to my list. Violent Chick, thank you. Let me see.
It's ridiculous. It's like...
I'm all about that.
It's like socialite drama combined with totally inaccurate medical procedures on a beach.
Okay, I'm there for that. Let me see. The mRNA platform is entirely novel. I wonder the novelty of mRNA is just for me. And I get that, like talking about the mRNA platform being like new. I think there's been a lot of misinformation about, we're not going to get like super into a vaccine talk here just because that can dive into, we'll do that a different day. I need more caffeine for that. But there's been like a lot of, I'll try to remember to link a couple of good Instagram accounts that have given a lot of good information, because I know there's been a lot of talk about like, oh, with the mRNA vaccine, like, is it going to be able to change your DNA? And it cannot. And so, yeah, more on that later. Let me see. Grey's Anatomy started in 2005. I was 5 and now I'm 21. It's still going. That is insanity. For a while, it was a real TV trope that there was randomly just a plane crash. Yeah, I believe that. But lots of people saying they want to wait until this vaccine's been out for a little while to get it, which I hear you. Let me see. I swear if I could get my residents to do standard bedside care like in Grey's Anatomy, I'd start giggling. Oh my gosh. Like, it is... I was not a nurse when I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy, but I think it would have driven me up a wall because, yeah, like, I would never, like, none of the things any of the residents, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you know, all those memes about, like, how everyone's ambulating their patient. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me see. I'll do a couple more questions and then we can head out, because it took me so long to get this loaded, but hopefully it's working now. Okay. Let's see, the loco vlogger said, I live in Georgia and masks barely exist here. It's awful. Same friend. I'm like, what on earth? I went to Massachusetts and it's completely different. Everyone wears masks and it's beautiful. So oh gosh, when did we drove up to my parents in the middle of the summer and it was literally like a dividing line. Like, no mask, no mask. When we were driving up in terms of rest stops, it was like no mask, no mask, mask. And then like partway through Virginia, it was just like everyone wore a mask and they stayed apart from each other in the bathroom. And it was a beautiful thing. Yeah, down here, no one cares. And I hate it. It makes me reconsider all choices of moving here strongly. Annette said, I'm in Iowa and I bet only 25% of people agree to get immunized. Our COVID numbers are breaking records. I think it's like, that's like, and I've talked to other people who live in like areas, you know, who are more like, it seems like some areas, like I said, are like totally for the vaccine and other areas are just like, absolutely not. And since everyone moves around so much, like I feel like we're going to take forever to hit the limit of what we need and then a mess. My hospital in North Carolina is getting more full, but projections have the peak around New Year's. I expect the updated model in 2 weeks to be a very different story, unfortunately. Me too. It is impressive yeah, it's, yeah. We already have talked about all the, no one wears a mask and it just makes me sad. Let me see. How long do you think a nurse should be a nurse before going to an NP program, and thoughts on those direct NP programs that give you a BSN and an MSN? I really appreciated my several years. So I had 6 by the time I was a nurse practitioner. I think the first year, I think you like 2 years would be the minimum before you apply and go. And I only say that because the first year of being a nurse, you're just trying to survive being a nurse. Like, I can't imagine trying to survive being a nurse, which is a really hard year, on top of applying to grad school and like figuring out all of that. Like, that just seems insanity. Or people who piggyback it. Like, how are you doing grad school and trying to figure out how to be a nurse? That doesn't sound like a good idea. Your brain can only do so much. And then going forward from there, you just haven't even figured out what you want to do unless you know exactly what you want to do, which I feel like is pretty rare. Like, I never would have thought I'm doing this. And if you jump straight into it, then you might miss out on something that you would really enjoy. You might even not want to be an NP. Maybe you decide you want to be an educator or, you know, something else, but you wouldn't know that if you haven't dabbled around. Obviously that's different for everyone, but I would say the majority of people, I see people going and diving right into these NP programs, and then they find out a couple years in, they're like, I don't even want to do this. Like, this is just something my school pushed on me because the school wants more money. And they're like, oh yeah, go get your NP, advance your career, which like you don't need to advance, you know what I mean? Like, being a nurse is a delightful career. You don't need to advance it. They want your money. If you want to advance it, wonderful, and move and get a different degree, great, but you don't need to. I feel like they push it so much, like, oh, you only have your bachelor's, and it's just so stupid. Remember, they just want your money. So just take your time, figure it out. Give it a few years. You will have a lot better of an idea once you've just played around for a couple of years. It's not a race. It's not a race. I played around for many years and just like saw kind of what I liked. Some adults, did some peds, and it was okay. I'm glad I did that. Don't regret it at all. I also, I don't know. I just can't imagine having done it quicker. Let me know your thoughts. And then the combined programs for a very specific person, I suppose I would I would recommend them, but I think for most people I don't, just because you don't have enough nursing experience. If the program has a ton of clinical hours, I could maybe see it, but I just don't see how you could possibly work enough to make it work. But I'm going to do a video soon about all sorts of controversial things, including that. I have a video about master's direct entry NP programs where I talked about that, but they're not my favorite, to be honest, just because I don't see how you can learn enough, but a lot of people succeed in them. So that being said, my opinion is probably wrong. All right, let's do 1 or 2 more, and then I'm going to head out. What are your thoughts? Sakib, we talked about that a little bit earlier about the vaccines. And if you just go play back and check the timestamps in a day or 2 when they're up there, you can go listen to that. Let's see. Jesse said, I finally got a job as a CNA in a children's hospital, inspired to try to work with children because of you. Oh, yay. That's so exciting. I hope you love it. I loved working in peds. It was just the best. And then we did that one. Montana is all over the place. Mask usage in Bozeman is high, but things like Billings, maybe half the people are wearing masks. Is Bozeman I know nothing about Montana, my friend. Is that a big city? Probably. I feel like I've heard it. Elizabeth Explores says, talk about scope creep. I had to unfollow so many Reddit pages because it also, I am going to make a video about the scope creep thing with the AMA. I don't probably have the most popular opinion amongst nurse practitioners, but we'll put it out there because why not? Controversy. I think if we want to have independent practice, we need to have a lot better standardization of education. I think there need to be a lot more clinical hours and probably something resembling a residency, and also some kind of assessment of competency, because there is there's just so much, since we have our schools aren't very well like regulated and experienced. Like you can become an FNP in 500 hours totally online. You can also become an FNP with 1,500 hours in classroom doing all sorts of sim labs, and your name looks exact. You have the same FNP, and if you pass your boards, C or BC. You know what I mean? So two very different humans with very different educations, and we need to fix that if we want to be taken seriously and like be able to do that. I don't think independence should ever be a thing right after graduating. That seems bonkers. And yeah, I'll do a whole video kind of explaining a little bit more, but that's I think it has a time and a place, like in very rural, and then there's like, it's all situational. So in some communities who are really rural and that's your only access to healthcare, okay, like you still should do something, like you should still have someone else with you before you're out on your own. But like, I get it there, but in more like areas where there's so many people, like why can't we just work with other people? Like why can't we just work with other people? It's really hard to draw the line between what's in your scope and what's out of it, because it's a judgment call. But yeah, that's my long-winded answer on that. Okay. We will do this last one and then we'll say goodbye for the night. Ava Devari, any tips on getting into a specialty as a new grad? I'm in a BSN program in California right now, and I'm thinking of going into pediatric oncology. If you can get like your internship, any kind of like internship or any kind of job on that unit, that would be the most helpful. If you can get a job as like a nursing assistant on that unit, that would be helpful. If you can do your preceptorship on there, that would be helpful. And if you don't get that job right away, just keep applying for it. You know what I mean? Like I had to take a totally different job on adult med surg to get into the hospital that was associated with the children's hospital so I could get that job. And I feel like all over the internet, everyone's like, go for your dream job. And that's great, but it's not always practical. Like don't take a job that's awful, but you might have to take a job or two, like a job that you don't absolutely love just to get your feet wet, knowing that there's an end. Don't take an unsafe job. Don't take a job that makes you want to like just cry for 2 years straight. But you might not get your dream job right away, but understand that like your career is going to be like, I don't know, 50 years long. And one of them might not be in your dream job. Just give it a little bit of patience, get a little bit of experience, and then it's okay to hop over. By all means, apply to all of them, do those other things we talked about. But if you don't get your dream job right out of school, like it's okay. You can still get that dream job. Your dream job might change and it'll be okay. Even though Instagram is telling you that it's not okay because everyone gets their dream job on YouTube and Instagram and yada, yada, yada. You will get it. Just give it a little bit of time. All right, friends. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry it was so delayed. Were you going to say something? Oh. We're working on the technical side of things. Can you tell? I'm going to watch it back and see if the audio is any better or if the video quality is any better or if we just have a very fancy setup for zero improvement.
The lighting is amazing. Your skin looks flawless.
Oh, thanks. Apparently the lighting makes my skin looks good. So that's a delight. All right, friends, thanks for hanging out tonight. I hope you are having a good holiday week. I couldn't even remember. My brain was thinking about a muffin. I want to go eat a muffin, and that's where it already was. And I forgot how I was like, I have to end this and not talk about my muffin. I'm imagining myself eating. So I'm going to go have a chocolate muffin and some coffee. I hope you have a great night. Bye, guys. You going to turn it off?